Today I wanted to show you what I do for my own calf when it's a little bit cranky, which it is right now. And I would like to go for a walk or a run, but my ankle and my calf say, no way, Jose. So what we're going to do today, if you want to follow along, is going to be more the gentle end of the spectrum. Another day I'll show you more weight-bearing intensive type things to do, but we want to calm things down first. So I got a couple of toys. I have way more toys than you could need, but I just grabbed a handful of balls, some cups. I'm going to give you options if you don't have these things, totally fine. But if you do, I'll show you what to do with them. So, first of all, let's do a quick anatomy lesson. You have two bones. You have the tibia and the fibula. So if I kind of come around along the sides of my knee, I can sort of find this bony thing on the outside. I can even get my thumb around to the back side of that bone. And if I travel along that, you might lose it because there's the meat on the side of your leg, but it's going to end up on the lateral malleoli, this bony thing right there. So that's your fibula, and the muscles that you're passing over on the side of your leg are responsible for stabilizing the outside of your ankle. So if you move your ankle outwards, I'm sure you can see me, these muscles are one of the main things that help you do that. Okay, let's go to the other side, your shin. You all know your shin. You might have some bruises on it, some lumpy bumpies from running into things. So if I follow the shin to the inside border and glide along there, if your fingers are really dry, you just put some water on them, or maybe just get sweaty, a little bit. Sweaty hands always look a lot better than dry hands. Sweat, water works great. I don't use a lot of lotion or creams. If you are my PT client, you probably know that, because that makes it harder for you to actually move the fascia around. But if you prefer to use some sort of lotion, nothing wrong with that. But there's just different techniques, whether you use it or not. That's a whole different point. Anatomy, back to your anatomy. So this is the inside border of your tibia, or shin bone. And if you follow it all the way down, you're going to likely find some sore spots. And it's going to end up on your medial malleoli. Ooh, right down there. So if we can get these two bones to move a little bit more freer within the skin, the muscles, the fascia, the tendons, ligaments, what have you, then you're going to have a lot better movement in your ankle, because these are like the two struts on the other side of where your ankle hinges. And as you run, walk, jump, these need to have a little bit of shock absorption capacity. And if they're as stiff as all get out, stiffness is not great here. You're going to get shin splints, you're going to have stiffness in your ankle. It might even cause back pain, because you're just going to pound into the ground a lot harder. This is like your trampoline, it needs to be soft. So let's find a ball, or you can use your fingers like I was doing, or you can get a type of massage tool. And let's go along the inside first. So you're going to come onto your shin, roll until you just fall off the bone. And then just mash your ball, thumb, or other massage device in there. And maybe poke around a couple spots until you find maybe a little bit of sensitivity. I find right there's my tightest feeling spot. It's not really sore, but it's not quite like the spot above and below it. I'm going to mash into there gently and nicely. And there's a lot of different techniques we're going to do. So I'm going to do one that maybe you're wanting to go to. Since you're here listening, you want something that you don't already know, perhaps. So I'm going to mash into the muscle, and then like a clock or a compass, I'm going to move the skin around and see which direction does it feel the most restricted, and which direction is the least restricted. So if I go up, I can actually feel the tension all the way into my toe. It's actually kind of nervy tension, which is honestly why I'm doing this. I've been having some nervy tension into my toe. And I don't want to tug on that nerve. The nerve doesn't like that. So actually, I'm going to go find the opposite direction And that's a lot easier to move in. And that's going to give tension, or take the tension off of the nerve to my toe. It's going to make it happier. So I would like to encourage you to, at least for a moment, try avoiding the most tense area, which is what we tend to want to do when we're stretching or massaging ourselves, and actually move your ball or thumb into the direction that has less tension, the least amount of tension. Hold that for a couple seconds, maybe up to 20 seconds or so, and see if it gives way and becomes even looser. So after a few seconds, my ball is able to glide a little bit farther downwards, and it actually wants to go a little bit towards my shin. So I'm going to follow that, allow my ball to go where it wants to go, the path of least resistance. And then when it feels like it's going to be stuck again, I have two options. Well, I can hold it there, wait patiently and see if it goes anywhere. But really what I'm going to do is start over. Come back to my sore spot, reassess. Yeah, it feels a little bit looser, and when I glide upwards, I feel a little less tension into my toe where that nerve is angry. I would say maybe 30% better. It's not magic by any means. Let's try it again. So I'm going to match that spot. I'm going to go around the clock and see where the tension is the greatest and the least. So I come maybe like 11 o'clock. It's kind of tight. And now the tension in the direction of ease might be kind of opposites, but it might not. So my direction of ease is going maybe like 3 o'clock. So I'm going to head that direction. Check it out, see how that feels. So a lot of what we're doing today with this technique is actually giving your nerves slack, and by moving your body into a direction of ease, it's creating space. It's, for example, with my calf right now, which allows improved circulation, lymphatic drainage. Whereas if you just put tension on those areas, they're actually becoming more compressed, and so you get less blood flow, less lymphatic drainage, and then tension on the nerves. So it depends on what the problem is. So if you're only doing one technique, and that's not giving you success, I bet you if you do the opposite technique, then you'll find what's needed for your body. Usually a combination of things is the best, right? We're going to make the nerves happy, get the blood flow, and what we tend to do more often is stretch the muscles, stretch the connective tissue. Both are good. All right, so that's starting to get a little bit less tight. So let's come back. Ooh, maybe 10% better. Awesome. So I'm not getting much more improvement, so let's move along. So I'm guessing if we continue traveling down, I'll find some good spots, and I'm guessing that you will too, because this tends to be a pretty gnarly spot. About, if you find your medial malleoli, come up about 4 fingers. Right there is usually a spot that feels a little nervy tight, because there's a nerve that goes from deep inside of your leg towards the surface, and it's a good spot where it gets kind of pinched off. And just like I mentioned up here, nerves don't like to be compressed. They need space. So take your ball or thumb, give it a little bit of gentle mash, because nerves don't like to be compressed, and move your tissue around. Move your skin over the muscle and the bone, and see which way feels restricted and which way feels more easy. I'm going to say kind of down towards my heel is the easiest, and still upwards is pulling into my tail. So it seems pretty consistent all along there. So I'm going to find a nice easy downward stretch. Hang out for a bit. See if it moves a little bit more. Sort of like a glacier, just gliding very, very slowly at its own pace. You can't rush glaciers. Sometimes they speed up, you don't know, but probably going to be slow. Likely it'll be slow. As it releases, starting to change direction, so I know like, okay, I can keep following it, but it kind of feels tight, like I ran into like a brick wall. Probably not going to be productive. Brick walls, banging against it, you know, not productive, right? So I'm going to come back to my original spot, which was roughly 4 fingers above my ankle bone. And yeah, I'd say it feels a little bit better. Maybe 40% better, yeah. So if we get a little bit of improvement at several spots, your body's going to feel a lot better. You don't have to make everything feel perfect. That would be impossible, and the attempt would likely be not the best use of your time. So we did 2 spots here. Let's play around with your fibula on the other side. And up here at the top, the nerve kind of wraps around the back of the fibula. So let's just kind of play around up here. You can do the exact same technique we did on the inside of the leg. Or we could just kind of massage it around, see what feels good. Yeah, especially as they get to the back. It's definitely a little tender in the neighborhood of where the nerve passes behind the bone there, the head of the fibula. So I'm going to try that same technique. Give it a little mash, test out the tension. So up is the tightest, down and forward for me is the loosest. I'm going to give that a try. Which, if you can imagine a little nerve running along there, I'm actually kind of pushing it off to the side. So I think that kind of makes sense. Seems like a logical thing to do. Let's see where it goes. All right, goes a little bit better. Okay. So before I made this video, I did a couple squats and tested out my ankle, and it definitely felt a little bit yucky. So I would encourage you to do like a test and retest situation if you know there's something that feels a little bit crummy. And that way you know if it works for you. It's one thing that feels good, and if you move better, that's where it's really at, right? Okay, let's talk about some cupping. And you can continue to use a ball or your thumb, but I love these little cups as a good self-care tool. And I am going to use my lotion now. Locally made, farmer's market, made with goat milk, so your choice. Little lotion always feels nice with the cups because I want to slide them. You can put them on and leave it, but sliding them, you can do the exact same technique we talked about. So I'm going to put this more on the shin. You can buy these on Amazon, a pack of about 20 bucks. Depending on how tight you put it on, you just squeeze it to create different amounts of pressure. And with these, it's a little bit hard to know how much pressure you have until you do it. And then you can kind of finesse it a bit if you don't like it. I put it on really hard. Ooh, it might not move, which is okay. If I put it on lighter, a little bit looser, it can slide on my skin. And that's why I got the little one too, because some of these more curved parts of the body, you need a tiny one. So a couple things you can do here. One, if you have a spot that doesn't really want to move, so if I, over here kind of tight, I can just maybe pull up on the cup and do the same technique we've been working on, with moving the tissue towards the direction of ease. Because now, with the cup, I'm decompressing the tissue, and I can even move it farther into the direction of ease and create more space in the layers. Space is good for blood flow, lymphatic drainage, and calming down your nerves. So great things. And you're getting some tissue stretch in there too. And this gives your body like a new sensation, which sometimes is enough to kind of break that pain cycle as well. Okay, you can also just, if I can get let's use my smaller one. If I can just slide a bit, you can probably find some good spots that feel really nice. And as I slide it, I can learn about my body, and I can let the cup direct me to the tight areas. So both of these cups kind of moved itself towards the back, towards my gastroc on the outside. So I'm guessing that could use a little more attention, but I'm actually trying to go down my shin to kind of show you where the meat is along the bone in the front, but the cup was like, nah, we're going to go back here. So if I'm a spot that it's really not moving, here's a good example. So I can lift, I can move it different directions. And I'll say move in a path that's less painful if you want to make your body calm down. Which if you're in pain and stiff and stuck, I think that's a good place to start. Nothing wrong with pain and to a degree, but if you're already amped up, bring your body down. So as my cup is wanting to hang out over here, and I'm wanting to show you this, let me kind of force it. Coming along your shin. So a little anatomy lesson here is what I was kind of going towards. The muscles that lift your foot are on the front of your shin. And often these are what we, the pain here is what we might call shin splints. That's really more of a umbrella term that doesn't have a distinct meaning, because there's a couple things that could be going on to cause you pain. But what I'm going to typically chalk it up to is that if these muscles have to work extremely hard to lift your foot because the back is really tight, they're going to be painful. If these have to work really hard, it also means that your tibia and fibula are also going to be kind of like stuck together. And we don't want things to be stuck together for the reasons I mentioned before. So if we can get the calf loosened up and get the ankle moving easier, you're less likely to have pain and tension here. The flip side is this might need to be stronger. But imagine that my calf was really tight and I had to lift my foot up against that tension all the time. It might be that this is not weak, but it just has to work so hard against that tight tension in the back and the stiffness of your ankle. And that's just this catch-22 of like, can't function. So sometimes you do need to make the shin stronger, but if we can just work along both sides of your leg, where a lot of these muscles attached to the bone, it might be just the thing to get your ankle a bit more mobile. There's a lot of other things you can work on too. I'm just picking on a couple of things that maybe you wouldn't think about already. So you can take your cup or massage tool, your thumper vibrator tool, whatever massage gun that you have, and work along here and see what effects it gets you. Whew. And then you'll know if it's a good thing to spend your time on. Oh, found a great spot right there. Oh, my goodness. So I love these little cups, clearly. Okay. Now that we've gotten everything a little bit looser, and you can certainly spend more time and massage your leg if you'd like, let's move things around. So again, we have these two bones, the tibia and the fibula. And for a moment, I want you to keep them pretty still. So I'm just going to grab onto my leg, drive my heel into the floor, flex, and rotate my foot back and forth. Attempting to keep these two bones pretty stable and still, and see how that works. It's definitely a little crunchy in there. Whew. Let's add on. So bring the foot down to the floor. If it's really far away, it's going to be hard, so I say definitely bring it in a little bit closer. And just sweep your foot along the floor side to side, as far as you can go without moving your shin too much. So we're going to go into this more active range of motion, active stretching. That's going to turn into a really particular ankle circle. So we have the sweeping across the floor, see how that feels, and leave it on one side. Let's go to the inside, for example. Then from here, lift up and down, like you're trying to show off the bottom of your foot, maybe towards your knee, to someone over there. How does that feel? Go to the other side. Sweep across the floor. Turn the bottom of your foot to someone that's on the other side and lift up and down. Ooh, feel something interesting there. Okay, we're going to complete the circle. So I'm going to go up and over the top. Continue circling. Down, sweep across. Up, across the top. Down, sweep across. Up, across, and down. Sweep across, up. Ooh. This is a little bit more specific than your typical ankle circle. It's reverse. Up, out, down. Across, up, out, and down. Ooh. And my shin is getting really tired after just a couple reps going this direction. Tells me where my weak link is, and it's really, I think, from having to work against the tension of my calf. I've been having some pain here. Okay, whew. Let's add on to the knee. So I grab my ball here so I can lean back against it. You can do this lying down too. I like to be reclined so that I can really hug my shin to my chest. We're going to add the ankle circle to a knee circle. So flex your foot, and let's start by rotating your shin in and out. So if you can find maybe a freckle or just imagine your bones there, rotate the shin inwards and outwards. So now it's the knee that's moving, the tibia that has a flat surface on the top, and it's pivoting each direction. Ooh, okay. Actually, I'm going to use this hand to help stabilize my leg so it doesn't move. If I rotate my tibia inwards while keeping my foot flexed, I can see that my shin has shifted inwards. Now, I'm going to lift my leg up until I start to feel a little bit of tension. And with your leg close to your body, you're going to feel it sooner than if it was far away. Ooh, okay, so rotate in, up till you feel some tension. Now circle outwards, focusing on moving the shin, not just the ankle. So I keep my ankle flexed so it keeps all of this nice and stiff. So I can focus on moving my shin now. Then lower my leg again. Ooh, that wasn't a big circle, was it? Rotate in, up, out, and down. Rotate in, up, out, and down. If your ankle is doing a lot of movement, you're not just moving the knee. That's not what we're doing right now. It's not wrong, it's different. I want you to focus on getting the movement in the knee so that the bones in my shin are getting their rotation. And the more that you can rotate and move and glide inside every joint and every articulation in your body, the happier you're going to be. Ooh. Okay, let's reverse. So, flex the foot, rotate the shin outwards, lift up till you feel some tension. Ooh. Rotate in, and then lower. Rotate out, up, in, lower, out, up, in, lower. And my leg is exhausted. I can feel the tension. And I don't want to overpower the tension to go farther than my body really wants to go. Remember that we're trying to calm things down, not amp things up. Whew, okay. Wow, that's tired. So a few last things we could do, and I want to show you, is massaging the bottom of your foot. I like to have different sized balls. You want to start with maybe something bigger and softer versus like going to something really hard, because that can be aggressive. The smaller it is, the deeper it's going to get between the bones, which is awesome. But if you've never done much foot massage, you don't want to start with the hardest thing. Your body's just going to like jump away, like you'd be stuck on a Lego. Imagine that, that'd be a terrible idea. And I love these little half dome balls. You can do the same thing. I'm going to show you this with a bigger ball. But if you're really serious, I recommend grabbing these little OTPT as a website, or it's on Amazon, half balls. You probably can't see my face anymore. But with the half balls or with a regular ball, Place the ball under the outside portion of your feet behind your toes and just sink in. So I'm letting the inside of my feet kind of drop onto the inside. Now watch my shins. I'm going to pivot my shins side to side. So it's getting some of a similar movement that I had with that knee circle exercise. Ooh. While also getting the inside of my arch and my midfoot. You got lots of little bones here loosening up. So if I had just the ball, let me show you that, what that looks like. Same thing. Just move around a little bit more, so I need to try to put more weight into the ball so it doesn't wobble as much. Feels different, which is a good thing that it's not the same. So I have two strategies to get my foot moving, but the ball is really nice because I can really move around and it doesn't move, whereas this one, the ball is gonna, it's hard to not move the ball is what I'm saying. Whew. All right, let's test out my squat. I know I didn't show you earlier, but this side was really cranky. And now it's a lot better, a lot looser. And that's just from working on the shin and standing on a ball for a few seconds. So, hopefully it gives you some ideas. And in the future, I'll give you more ideas that are more specific to the ankle that might be what you're expecting when I said ankle mobility. All right, have a great day.